So it is a little bit cooler today, but as the heat sticks around, we're not done with summer yet. We really need to stay hydrated for our health.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's not just about chugging water like we do all day.
We do. We try to keep our
yeah, I love this.
Full. Yeah. So Coach Chris is here to help us out to how much water cheers should we be drinking every day to keep our bodies running the way they should.
And this isn't about, hey, let's drink more water for the sake of just chug water.
Right.
It's actually a scenario of quality versus quantity, and we'll get into that. And we know it's been blazing. So especially for like our middle and high school kids, especially the football players are doing two-a-days, outside in the elements. You know, if you're used to walking in the park, if you're outside doing some landscaping, we need to take into consideration the environmental factors in those, and we'll talk about that again today.
Okay.
But
so look, why is hydration so important?
Sure. Why? So why isn't it, right?
Right, yes.
So it's the water, the key element of life, right? It regulates our body temperature, it lubricates our joints, moves nutrients throughout our body, helps to circulate, supports our digestion, it flushes out our waste, boosts brain power, improves skin, which we're all after, and helps muscles work properly, which for our young athletes and us who are active and engaged outside, even for recreation, is super critical to keep our thumb on the pulse.
Yeah, everyone knows it's important, but why is interesting to see all
it really is. So how much water should we be drinking today? A lot of us keep these on our desk.
Sure, and that's great. Huge fan of that. There's so many, like even on Amazon, it's like, getting people to their hydration goals. There's all kinds of great strategies and apps and things to remind you. But how much water should we drink? A really easy rule of thumb, take your body weight, divide it by 2. So for example, if you had a 160-pound person, you're looking at 80 ounces per day. Now to account for that, again, environmental factors, exercise, things, 10 to 20% shift if someone's really, really active and or they're outside in heat and humidity, which right now we know it's super hot, super humid outside, which induces more sweat, so you're probably leaking more towards the 15-20% additional on those days where we're outside in the elements.
Right. Some people, they work, their job requires them to be outdoors more.
Absolutely. I mean, you're looking at construction, landscaping, lawn care, etc. Yeah, absolutely.
They've been put through it this summer. Okay, Chris, what about the electrolytes?
So this is where we talk about quality versus quantity. I coach a number of different clientele, from elite athletes to high-performing adults, and I used to kind of use this general thumb, hey, let's get in 1 gallon of water a day. It's 128 ounces. Just as a general kind of a jump-off point. What I found, though, was, we're just mindlessly kind of drinking water, but these people, they're in meetings, they're in class and stuff like that. Now we're waking up in the middle of the night trying to urinate, so it's actually being detrimental to the rest of the things. So we looked at electrolyte balance, because that's what hydration is proper electrolyte balance, potassium, sodium, and achieving that through less water is actually more ideal. So I can actually have my clients and general population drinking around 64 to 90 ounces of water, but if we're using some strategic electrolyte infused water, such as Himalayan sea salt, a squeeze of lemon or lime juice, a little dash of honey in there just for taste. That is a great kind of home brew of an electrolyte balance. But for some of us who kind of like our little little sticks, little packs to dump in there. I'm a big fan of Prime drinks, Liquid IV, Tin Tam. There are tons of those, and they're readily available at like a Walmart or something like that. So we've all heard of Gatorade, Powerade, all of those. I'm a fan of those, but the 0-calorie ones, because it's actually the extra sugar that can kind of work towards our dehydration, because our body shuttles that water into our muscle cells. So low calorie, we don't need to go crazy calorie on those. So like a G2 0, Gatorade 0, Powerade, and some of the more applicable ones. But the electrolyte balance is the quality versus just mindlessly chugging water, because you can actually become overhydrated, and that's a detriment too, to where we're just chugging more and more water. It thins out our blood, so we kind of have a really nice ratio of blood and water balance. So to thin that out kind of has adverse negative effects on us too.
But how would you know if you were overhydrated?
Overhydration, similar to dehydration. We have elevated heart rate, our ventilation rate's up, we're kind of a little bit mentally confused, cognitive fog, things like that. Now, where you may not have that thirsty mouth and like really dry, tacky skin where you're kind of pressing on it, those cells are full, but some of that kind of confusion, and especially like tachycardia, where our heart rate is just kind of fluttering, and we're keeping I've been hydrated. It's really, really strange. It's almost similar comparisons to a lot of the symptoms and stuff as well.
Wow, I never even thought about overhydrating there. Well, this is great information, not only because of all the hot weather we're in, but, you know, exercising, working outside, just, you know, day-to-day life, what we need to be doing and drinking more of.
Okay, so what about these quick tips?
Yeah, quick tips. So don't wait till you're thirsty. Be proactive about this. Don't wait till, oh man, if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So go ahead and jump on it. Be ahead of time. Start that water hydration first thing in the morning. 12 to 16 ounces of water first thing in the morning as soon as you wake up is a great way to kick things off. Not just for that hydration level, but also for your cognitive, you know, awareness and getting awake. It just helps stimulate that brain as well. Add electrolytes, especially if you sweat a lot. That's what we talked about, the quality versus quantity. Watch your urine color. So be aware of when you're urinating and take a peek at it. And your best hydration gauge, you're ultimately looking for something that's just kind of a light yellow, a very light, thin yellow. So too clear, maybe we're overhydrated. Too dark and brown or yellowish, maybe we're dehydrated. And then ultimately, just be proactive. Get yourself a water cup or a shake or something like that. There are tons on Amazon. I mean, you can buy these things literally anywhere.
It's become trendy.
Yeah, so like for me, you know, if I have a hydration goal of 80 ounces, and I know this is 20 ounces, you know, if I have 4 of those in a day, then I've had that. I've had that adequate hydration. If I'm outside or I'm exercising, I may have 1 to 2 more. But I know at least I'm getting 4 minimum of these. And everybody, so based on your size and the one that you like best, you know, everybody has that one to like to carry around. My wife carries her around religiously. She has it more than she has her phone and her other things with her. But yeah, it's getting in the habit and routine. There's also tons of apps you can download to kind of set a little reminder. Hey, it's time to take a drink. Oh, let me take my drink. Excuse me, meeting. Let me take my drink.
Yeah. Well, that's a fun way to keep
so there's tons of ways to get into the habit of it. Once you get actually adequately hydrated, you may not know what you've been missing because you've been underhydrated for like, oh, I feel so much better. My skin's glowing more. I'm sleeping better. My body's moving. I have more sustainable energy. So all those positive benefits start to keep into place. Like, oh, well, maybe I just needed to drink more water, not take another medication or supplement or pill.
That's great. Well, all right. Well, let's drink up.
Absolutely. Cheers. TGIF. Happy Friday. Cheers to water. Stay hydrated.
Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Always.